Alright, adventurers, we are back working on the 98 Honda, and what I've got going on is it's not wanting to shift right, like in the first and second, or the first and second shift, and then it's starting to like drop gears as I'm going down and just really hauls you down quick and jarringly. So that's not fun. But I found one thing that you can do to get a few more miles out of your ride, to at least give you time to save up for a new transmission, because preview, you're gonna need it, but this quick fix will get you a little bit farther down the road most of the time. I actually owned a 1997 Honda that was doing the same thing, and I sold it for like $200, and then the very next day I was walking into the local Walmart and it drove right past me. So I said I wasn't going to give up so easy on this one, and I'm not. But the rest of the video is going to be how to take apart and clean all those solenoids and whatnot. So without further ado, here it is. Alright, so here we have the first solenoid I took apart, and as you can see, there's little screens in there, and those just pop right out, and you blow some carb clean or some brake clean through those and clean those screens out, and that is how you clear out that shift solenoid to try and get it working again. And that one is located right down here under the battery box, and it's got 6 10mm bolts holding it in, and you got a couple of wiring harness clips right here. So you got to take the battery tray out of the way, remove the clips, remove the bolts, and that kind of pops out of there. Just be careful to remember which way your little tube guys here are oriented when you do that, when you go to put it back in. Alright, and we are back with solenoid number 2. And with this solenoid, this power steering line right here, sorry, your other transmission line right here, power steering, you're going to have to unbolt that right there, and you're also going to have to come on the side and unbolt the bracket here, so this whole thing will then lift up off of there, and then you got a bunch of 10mm bolts holding it on, same thing as the other one. But then if you see with this one, just look in here, it's attached to that little pigtail, and I'm not trying to mess with all that, so I'm just going to show you that, how gunked up and nasty those filters are. So I'm going to clean those out with some brake clean right now, and once I get those cleaned out, I'm going to slap all that back together, and then there is still one little solenoid tucked back up under here. Yeah, there it is. Right up under chair. It's not the most visible right now, but I'll take it out and show you here in a minute when we come to the third solenoid. But right now I gotta clean those nasty gunked up things out, because I'm pretty sure that's what was causing my problem. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, and we're back. And as you can see, I can't really see too good. Yeah, so down in there, you've actually got one solenoid on top and then another one on the bottom there. I already popped that one out and sprayed it out, but I left this one out so I could show you. As you can see, it's got a few O-rings, so it's kind of difficult to pop out of there, but you just got to kind of work it around and work it out. But then I just take it, sprayed it out with some brake clean, and I'm going to shove her on back in there and put it all back together, and hopefully that solves some of my shifting issues. Alright, we're back. As you can kind of see, I got some fluid getting blown in the wind here, but on the 4-cylinder models for these Hondas, the transmission drain plug is on the passenger side, right on the towards the front of the transmission here. Kind of the plug goes in like that on the back side of that little deal there. And if you can see, I've already cleaned this plug off but there's just all kinds of goodness, just goodness to be wiped off of it. Maybe even a little more still. I'll wipe it again, but that's got the fluid drained, so I'm gonna let that drain for another minute, wipe it up, and put the plug back in, and then we'll replace the fluid and see what happens. Alright, so the old fluid is drained, and it didn't look terrible, but it still had some contamination. Now, you know, for those of you playing the home game, the dipstick is there. I put in a small funnel. Now I'm about to add 3 quarts of transmission fluid. It technically calls for 3.1, but I'm not going to worry about that because there's probably still like 0.1 in the torque converter and stuff like that, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm going to add the fluid and then take her out on a road test, and after I'm done doing that, it should run like a top, I hope. Alright, back with one more tip on doing these solenoids. So let me get around where the shadow ain't as bad. So if you come in here, you're gonna see this transmission line running right here. Okay, there you go. So that bolt right there, my finger's pointing at, that big guy, it's got an aluminum crush washer on the top, on the bottom and the top, that you're either gonna have to replace or get new copper washers for it, because after torquing a few times, those aluminum crush washers are no good anymore. Same thing with the copper ones. The copper ones fail even faster. So get ready to have those crush washers, or get ready to go hunting for them. Okay, so we're back. I got all the solenoids put on. That banjo bolt right there is a particular bear, getting it to seal. So make sure you got your crush washers. I feel like I mentioned that before. But this little fix, I want to put in a disclaimer here at the end of the video. This will get you down the road, because I did this when I first bought this car, and it got me another 10,000 miles out of it. However, I took it to the transmission shop, and what the guy said was the reason the solenoids keep getting clogged is that the clutch material inside the transmission is eroding so fast that almost as soon as I clean those solenoids, it just gums them right back up again. So, you know, this can get you another, 5,000-10,000 miles down the road, if you need to, but be prepared to get a new transmission, which I've already found a used one with like 160,000 miles on it, 90-day warranty for like $450, and I'm going to do a video on swapping that in here soon, which I don't want to do, but stay tuned for that. And I'll probably do another one of my top 5 videos on this car, just because I got a few pet peeves with it. But other than that, I mean, it's a great little car. I absolutely love these little Hondas. But that's all for today. Thank you.